10 minutes. minus 9 minutes. Minus 8 minutes. Minus 7 minutes. Minus 6 minutes. Minus 5 minutes. minor for minutes. Minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
As always, this show's gonna be awesome. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody. We're broadcasting across Canada on the Game Plus Television Network, plus 33 U.S. states. It's your boy RP here. It's a game day in a lot of leagues today. I got some fun stories to get with. Some of our closest friends going to be with us today over the next 2 hours. Scott Laughlin coming up in hour 2 from SiriusXM NHL Radio. Score alum. Kids, ask your parents. We worked together 100 years ago with the Score Network. Hey, Kevin the Medium is with us. Speaking of friends from the Hughes Sports Podcast and Cavalli Channeling. Yes, he speaks to dead people, so you'll get along with our viewers, Kev. How you doing, buddy?
Did you just call your viewers dead people?
I think so. Yeah. They'll get over it. Listen, before we get down to business, and this opening segment is the warm-up, of course, and the whole first 40 minutes are the warm-up brought to you by our friend Neil Chark, Uniglobe Carefree Travel. TK sends his best. You haven't been on since we had TK on with us. Tommy King, sports betting guru down here in South Florida. And he just wanted to say he had such a great time on the show. His followers skyrocketed. So thanks, everybody. He's just a good guy. And the best part is all his co-hosts of his podcast he does down here on sports betting, they're all pissed off that we had him on and not them, which was exactly what I wanted. So it's perfect. TK says hi. He loves the show, and he wants to go buy a truck at Western Dodge because he said the show is awesome. So, hey, how are things in your world, Kev, before we get down to business?
Things are good, except this dang weather. I mean, it's isn't it March? I thought March was like the beginning of spring. Flowers are supposed to bloom. No, I wake up to -3 and snow. I almost swore there.
Hey, trust me, I get it. But it ain't the Weather Network, and we're keeping it positive, Kev. You're Mr. Positive. You think about what makes you happy while we jump into this. Quick 6 show topics for Neil Chark, Uniglobe Carefree Travel. You and I are on the same page here. We aren't always. I said to Kev this morning on the phone, what's the number one thing in your sports world right now? And you said...
baseball. Team Canada going to the quarterfinals.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so let me read the official story from the Associated Press. Canada will play the USA in the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic on Friday in Houston. Canada advanced to the WBC's playoff round for the first time in the tournament's history with a 7-2 win over Cuba yesterday. After losing to Italy, the U.S. got the help it needed from the Italians in their 9-1 thumping of Mexico. That assured the Americans would finish second in their pool and advance. So it's Canada versus USA. And let me tell you this. I told you what they were saying on SportsCenter this morning. They're like, it's not the gold medal for hockey, but it ain't bad. Canada versus USA. So where is your, like, what do you know about these two teams? I'm curious.
Absolutely don't know a whole lot, but having said that, I will be watching this game. Just anytime you have Canada versus the U.S., they could be playing tiddlywinks. It's just, you gotta be able to watch it. It's fun. We gotta get some kind of satisfaction or revenge from that gold medal hockey game. So let's go, Canada.
Well, I tell you what. I haven't seen the odds yet, and as you know, I'm not a bettor. I don't think you are really, but this is David versus Goliath, just so you know. I mean, I follow this, and one of the greatest blessings of my life is now working in baseball at my advanced age, which we were also talking about this morning. I know. But the people that I've gotten to meet, and I realize how great the sport is, and you get to know the players on their way up, and then you follow them. Listen, the USA team is stacked. It's Aaron Judge. It's Cal Raleigh. It's just a list. It's the all-star roster. Canada is not that. It's a bunch of just largely, well, Josh Naylor of the Mariners is a big deal, but a lot of everyday ball players. But listen, folks, what makes this show different, and Kevin, you know that, Rod Black was on here yesterday. His kid's on the team. He was in Puerto Rico at the game. He's like, I got to go. I got to get on the bus to go to the game. Like, that is exciting stuff, Kev. What pulled you into it?
And how cool would it be for Canada to knock out the U.S. in their game? Baseball is the great American game. I mean, that is their baseball and apple pie, right? And if we could beat them in baseball like they beat us in hockey, it's like the gods have aligned, the sporting gods have aligned everything for them to beat us in our sport. Now we get to beat them in their sport. Let's go.
Well, and they almost didn't make it because of a managerial brain fart by Mark DeRosa, the skipper for Team USA, which we covered all of that yesterday. So, I mean, I guess a good poll question would have been, will you be watching the quarterfinal Canada-USA? But, I mean, I don't really care. I know I will. And you said you will be. And I've seen the people go, where is it? Where can I watch it? Sportsnet's got it in Canada. And hang on, everybody. I will the comments are coming in like crazy and everything. That's what we do here. That's what we want. But this is a very quick segment here right now. Another thing, we got like 3 minutes left in this segment, so it's hard to get into anything other than the poll question is this. Kevin started this a week ago when you said that it's hard for the Canadian teams to compete, if you remember, because of the dollar and the this and the that. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but you know what? You're not the only guy. I was on the phone with a hockey guy yesterday, businessman too, and same guy, business guy, he's a hockey guy, and he goes, I'm worried about the Canadian teams. I want to ask, we got 2 minutes. Are you worried? And when you say, like, financially, are you worried? He's worried financially for them.
No, I'm not worried whatsoever financially. We could have the worst team in the league. Oh, we do, the Canucks. And they're still going to fill 3/4 of that stadium on every given night, because just like baseball is American, hockey is Canadian. We'll watch it. I mean, there's just, if that was the case, Canucks would have folded a decade ago, or Calgary would have folded a decade ago. Ottawa, I could go on. Winnipeg, I could go on and on.
Hey.
Canadians love their hockey. We're still going to watch regardless.
Yeah, well, for sure. And is it too late to change the poll question? I'm the one that came up with it, so it's on me if the question sucks. 77% of respondents are saying no, they're not worried. They're building a new arena in Calgary. They're going to be building a new arena in Ottawa. As you say, the rinks are full. So, and of the long list of things for me to worry about, Canadian NHL teams are very, very low down the list. But this guy said that he's concerned about it, and I don't think we should be.
No, not at all. I mean, did you hear the Vancouver news that they're finally close to signing a deal for their practice stadium, only 3 kilometers away from the arenas, which is amazing news.
Well, I did see that. It's very good news. And by the way, I do have another poll topic. I've got it written down, but we got a break. So we're going to have some floating poll topics, a lot of topics to get to. Kevin, the medium, is with us. Scott Laughlin coming up from NHL Radio in hour 2. We'll be back in a flash. 902-518-3033 is the text line. We'll be right back on Game Plus.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon
and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Center April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop, edge-of-your-seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Papikassis Developments Limited.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly, we built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics, game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
And welcome back. The warm-up of the RP Show brought to you by Neil Chark, Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Whether it's team travel, sports getaways, business trips, or bucket list vacations, Neil and the team at Uniglobe Carefree Travel deliver expert planning, seamless service, and trusted experience every step of the way. Planning your trip? Connect with Neil at uniglobecarefreetravel.com. Kevin's got a big trip coming up. I know that. You told me next December I'm going to be seeing you here in South Florida. And I know that you went through uniglobecarefreetravel.com because all the smart people do. Okay, Kev, here's one for you. Before I move to football on the Quick Six Show topics here, Jeremy, he's a Detroit Red Wings fan. And he writes in, he says, Red Wings in March, if they miss the playoffs, I'm done. I'm pulling a Tony from Cochrane. And it's funny because I'll tell you what, I walked out of the rink in American Bank Arena here the other day, sunrise, after the Red Wings blew one against the Panthers, and I saw Todd McClellan, the coach of the Red Wings. And, I mean, that was one they couldn't afford to give away. But here's my question to you, Kev, as the Vancouver Canucks fan, and I know how dejected you are, could you ever see yourself renouncing your Canucks fan rights and just picking another team like Tony from Cochrane has done, if he's sticking to that?
I wish I could. I really do. I wish I could just say, I don't live in Vancouver. I don't care about that team anymore. Let's pick a new team and run with that one. I can't do it. It's in my blood. I've watched him since 1970. So how can I change? It's like, no.
Listen, I
get it. Being disappointed.
Oh, I know. Well, here's why I say that, and maybe this will be the this will be the secondary poll. I wish we could put it up right now. Could you ever abandon your team, or how I just said, renounce your fandom? Because Tony's watching. He writes in. He goes, "Do it, Jeremy. It feels real good." And it's funny segue here to point 2 of the Quick Six Show topics is NFL free agency. I was perusing USA Today. I've been a subscriber for 30 years. I just love that newspaper so much. And their coverage is really good of everything. And they had winners and losers of NFL. I'm sorry. Well, I guess Tony's not a Cleveland fan anymore, so it don't matter. The Browns and Shedeur Sanders are labeled losers of free agency. Tony don't got to worry about it anymore because he's not a Browns fan. That's what I'm saying, Kev. Like, would it be less of an emotional burden for you if you weren't a Canucks fan?
Yeah, I guess, but it's never going to happen. Just like Tony from Cochrane, even though he renounced, quotation marks, his fandom, he's still watching and he's still paying attention to what they do. And if they ever come back and are contenders, you can guarantee he's going to be cheering them on, just like you with the Cowboys. Wow. It's one of those, yeah, I hate them, but I love them.
Pretty safe bet that the Browns ain't never coming back, and I don't really plan on the Cowboys doing it either. But anyways, fun. It's a fun chat. Jeremy writes back. He says, that night was unacceptable. Same crap every March. Learning nothing. He's talking about the Red Wings. See, I just don't want to see people upset. I don't like people being upset. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I could not do it with his Stampeders. I guess it depends on who your team is, because I think we all have teams in every league. Like my college football team was Alabama, but when Nick Saban left, I'm like, I'm out. And trust me, nobody in the Crimson Tide Nation cared. They didn't care. Could I ever give up on the Cowboys? Could I ever give up on the Blue Jays? No. As far as NHL teams, it's a little different. But Jason in Red Deer writes, and he says, I've been a Flames fan ever since I was a kid. I haven't renounced my fandom for them, but I have moved on to cheer for the Golden Knights. That's kind of the same thing. You're either a Flames fan or you're not. I thought Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes, and he says, that's not how fandom works. Credit to Leaf fans. They have suffered forever, and the passion and commitment is next level. Sure, but it's highly annoying. I'm going to tell you something. It's loud in my world about Leafs fans and Leafs media and everybody crying about how bad they are. I can't imagine what it's like where you live, Kevin. I'm sick of it here.
Oh, it's insane because, of course, being in Saskatchewan, you got a lot of Leaf fans in Saskatchewan, which surprised me, but I guess you have to pick a team. You don't have a team in Saskatchewan. So if you're not an Oilers or a Flames fan, you're going to be a Leafs fan, I guess. And there's a lot of disappointed Leafs fans out there. I guess the expectations, the Canucks expectations are never high. I don't know why Leaf fans continue to put their expectations so high when every year you get to do it. Don't punish yourself. Just expect them to be bad, and then you'll be okay.
Well, I feel like Jason in Red Deer's done what I've done with the Cowboys. He goes, let's just say I'm now a fan of the game of hockey. I'll sit and watch any game. Yeah, because you're a Flames fan and you're tired of your heart being broken. I totally understand. That's kind of where I'm at with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just saying, and like Tony says, he's walked away from the Cleveland Browns. Feels great. He's probably sleeping better. He's probably got a spring in his step. This Leaf stuff, you guys want to piss and moan, go ahead, but I'm not around for it. Oh my God, it's too much. Which by the way, just for fun here, I looked up today, because changing every day. Stanley Cup futures, we talked about this with you last time you were on. Stanley Cup future bets. This is at ESPN Bet. They got Colorado, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Vegas, and Edmonton. Hey, that's the other thing, by the way. We had the writer on from the Athletic Las Vegas the other day, and he's like, I'm out on the Golden Knights. They're not. I'm like, I won't. I guess you haven't learned yet from Kelly. You haven't been around them long. I'm never, ever, ever, ever turning my back on that team. I don't cheer for them, but I will always think that they're a contender. At the bottom, sorry to tell you, Kev, you might want to cover your ears. This is substituting my top five, bottom five. Number 28, this is first odds to win the Stanley Cup. New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, St. Louis Blues, Toronto Maple Leafs, Vancouver Canucks. So Toronto and Vancouver, the two worst teams in the NHL. That should not be allowed to happen, Kev. That should not be allowed to happen.
It's insane when you think about it. It's like, especially in Canada, you got two of the biggest markets in Canada, and it's sad when you think 1967, they haven't done anything since then. 1970, we haven't done any real. Yes, we were to the Stanley Cup final twice, 3 times, but never to actually hoist the cup. Come on, we got to change that. Somebody somewhere along the line has to come along for the Canucks and the Leafs. I would love to see it one year, somewhere down the road, the Canucks versus the Leafs. Well, Game 7 for the Cup.
There's a certain amount of baggage that goes with being a Vancouver Canucks fan. I get it. Bob in Medicine Hat writes in and says, I have been a Habs fan for over 70 years. Bob in Medicine Hat, which I'm actually really enjoying the Montreal thing. And frankly, for them to say in Toronto and actually believe it, that there's too much pressure on the team or the media is causing the problem. Look at Montreal. They were in the Stanley Cup final in 2021. They went through a rebuild, and boom, here they are back again on their way to the playoffs. Ole, ole, ole. You want to say there's no pressure in Montreal? Oh, my God. It's just probably different pressure.
Next to Toronto, it's probably the highest pressure you've got in Canada.
Yeah. Let's say from the viewers, Wayne in Victoria, BC writes in, happy birthday, by the way, Wayne. Happy birthday from the RP show. He says, hey, Rod, I'm still a little worried about the CFL's existence more than the NHL teams. And yes, it's financial viability. Well, Kevin and I talked a little bit about that this morning, and let me just say this. Again, very low on my list of things to worry about are Canadian NHL teams or the CFL. And here's another thing. They ain't worried about me. So that's my thought on that. You?
I don't think the CFL, compared to if you go back into the 80s where it was literally hanging by a thread. I don't think the CFL is hanging by a thread anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I just, again, of the long list of things to worry about, that ain't one of them. Rhonda writes in. She is watching in the Frontier City. She writes in on the Western Dodge text line. She says, I'm happy that the almighty judge struck out for the last out. Bah, love it. Oh, bringing us back to the baseball. Canada versus USA, which I will tell you right now, I will always cheer for Canada in international competition, unless Team USA is paying me. That's different. But before I'll be cheering for Canada. I'll be cheering for Canada Friday in the baseball game. By the way, Tony writes in from the Bridge City. He says, hey, Rod, your show is like a lighthouse lighting the way in a sometimes foggy and gloomy world. However, life can be gloomy if you make it that way. I choose not to. Thanks to you for this show and all you do. Have a great day, Tony from the Bridge. So there you go, Kev. How about that?
What more could you ask for, especially nowadays? That's a perfect synopsis for our show. You got to put that out on social media, and maybe the grumpy people will come watch and have a smile on their face.
The grumpy people don't even come by here anymore. You notice I don't even get the hate. I don't get nobody's trying to cancel me. Thank God. Jeff the Stamps fan says, does Canada stand a chance? Not really. He's talking about the baseball game. If the bus driver gets lost on his way to the stadium, that's the best chance Canada has of beating USA in this game Friday. But that's great drama, Kev.
Wouldn't it be something if we do beat them? I mean, do we have a chance? Well, yeah, that's why we play the game. Anything can happen. Who thought the Blue Jays would go as far as they did last year?
Oh, man. Well, this would be the baseball version of Miracle on Ice. Like, I don't know who's going to be calling. Yeah, I don't know who's going to be calling the game in Houston on Sportsnet or Fox here in the. I get it. I think it's Joe Davis is his name on Fox. Do you believe in miracles? That's what it would be. I'm not saying anything that everybody doesn't know. That's what it would be if Canada beats the USA in baseball. And from the audience, by the way, this is funny. When I said, I think we could talk about this every day because everybody has opinions on it. Could you renounce your fan rights to your team? I've done it. It ain't that hard. So has Tony and Cochran. Scott writes in from Toronto. He says, fandom is being an Argo fan. Win or lose, Argos get zero respect, zero love, and zero coverage in the city they play in. Argos fans are the most resilient. The other Toronto teams get coverage regardless. Well, I'm glad that you said that. Number one, producer Corey before the show was talking about the movie Argo. He's like, have you seen the movie Argo? I'm like, that's the Pinball Clemens story, right? I'm joking. Starring Ben Affleck. I went to the theater thinking it was going to be a documentary on Pinball Clemens. It ended up not being that. But anyways, yeah, I've watched the movie Argo. That's if you to take Vancouver teams aside, who would you say is the best fan base in Canadian sports?
Oh man, you're gonna make me say it, aren't you? You set me up to say this. You have to go with either Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans or Rider fans. And I mean, if you stretch it over decades, you got to go Rider fans. Over the last 10 years, you might have a case to say that the Smurf Mafia has proven that they're a little more. But over decades, over a long period of time, they ain't nothing like a Rider fan. The more I talk to people in this city, in this town, village, whatever you want to call it, that I'm living in, they are like, they don't play. When you tell them you're a Lions fan, it's not a pleasant conversation.
You're learning. I could have told you, but I knew you had to go through it for yourself. That's life, Grasshopper. And you're learning. Okay, we will take a timeout. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, over decades, it's Elk fans. I disagree. They can't even keep the same name.
Says no.
Oh, my God. No. What are you talking about, Jeff? We'll be coming back. with more of this. 90, whatever this is. 902-518-3033 on the Western Dodge text line. Kevin the Medium is with me from the Hughes Sports Podcast and Cavalli Channeling. He speaks to dead people. By the way, Scott Laughlin from NHL Radio coming up in hour 2. We'll be right back here on the Game Plus television network.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca. Or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Hold on tight, Moose Jaw. Professional bull riding is back. PBR Canada charges into the Temple Garden Center April 25th. See the toughest riders take on the rankest bulls in a night of non-stop, edge-of-your-seat action. Whether you're a diehard fan or brand new to PBR, this is one show you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now at sastix.ca or at the box office. But don't wait, they'll sell fast. Professional Bull Riding Canada in Moose Jaw.
Proudly presented by Papikassis Developments Limited.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
It is Canada's favorite daytime sports talk show on the Game Plus TV network, also airing in 33 states. Have you signed up yet for the Rod Squad newsletter? It's brought to you by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Visit sudsregina.com. I'm going to get deeper into the Quick Six show topics after Kevin the Medium adjourns in the next segment. He's not into all of the things. He's into different things than I am. He said he's not really covering NFL free agency. I'll handle that in the next segment. But Kev, he's not really following the NHL either because he's a Canucks fan, and I get it. They're the worst team in the NHL. But point 3, Kev, is this. This is listen up. The Montreal Canadiens won their second game in as many nights with a 3-2 victory over the Ottawa Senators last night. Ivan Demidov scored the third period game winner for Montreal, which was coming off a 3-1 win over the Leafs. That's not what I'm talking about. In the only other game of the night, Owen Tippett had a goal and an assist to pace the Philadelphia Flyers to a 4-1 win over the visiting Washington Capitals. Ovi had an assist on the lone Caps goal. You know why I watched that game, Kev? You'll never guess, but take a guess why I watched that game.
No clue.
Washington, Philadelphia. Because Wayne Gretzky was on the panel for the NHL on TNT. And I apologize. I'm not sure if you people in Canada get those TNT broadcasts or not, but you don't? Remember a day when you tuned in for who the panelists were? Do you remember? Like, there's people still whining about Matt Dunnigan being let go, which I understand. I get it, from TSN. Wayne Gretzky. I just wanted to hear what he has to say. Is there analysts in your world right now that you tune in to watch a game just because of who the analysts are and the commentators?
No, I mean, of course, I love Shorthouse calling the Canuck games. It's just because you're a Canuck fan, you listen to it all the time. So when I hear anybody else, I'm like, ooh. But Jake and I were just commenting on this. The Canucks were on Prime. Every Monday, Prime has their game on in Canada. And we watched and we paid attention to the production value of the broadcast. And damn, Prime really puts in an effort. It makes Sportsnet look cheap. And I it's the only word I could come up with is it's just that much better. Whether you like the broadcaster, the play-by-play guy, the color guy, that doesn't matter. Just the quality of the production is so much better on Prime. It's shocking to me.
Well, and I want to put that out to the audience right now. Just for fun, we're spitballing here with Kev's Fun Sports Talk, and as long as we keep it on sports, that'll keep everybody happy. And I'm just saying, what's the league, what's the sport, what's the channel that you tune in for? Maybe it was a game that you're not that interested in, but you're excited to see what the announcers have to say. Because for me, it was last night with Wayne Gretzky. And, of course, I just sit there like when your cat looks at the TV. I've seen yours, Kev. Yeah. Your cat really used to. Yeah, well, it came up in my Facebook memories the other day. A photo you sent me of your cat watching this show on TV in Airdrie, Alberta. Is that cat still with you?
Nah, he's crossed over. Riff, he was the big fat black cat, and he would hear the Rod Pedersen theme song, and he'd stop whatever he's doing and come sit in front of the TV and just stare.
Damn, we need the ratings. Can we get him back somehow? Okay. By the way, the RP show is brought to you in part by Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. If you're looking for a place for lunch, make it there. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet, Pump Jack's. Get serious for a second. Point 4. Iran's sports and youth minister says the country is in no position to take part in the World Cup after the United States killed its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in its ongoing war. Iran was expected to take part in the World Cup that will be held across North America in June. But the Iranian sports and youth minister, Ahmad Doniyamanali, told state television that his country's soccer team players are not safe in the U.S., according to a video of the interview posted Tuesday. Oh, I know. Kev, I'm sitting here going, like, shame on me. I always say I hate when news and sports intersect. But I'm like, I can't believe it's even a question that they would think Iran would come and play in the World Cup where the countries are at war, would you?
No, I think if you're at war, you should pull out of all sports. It's and that goes for Israel, U.S., Russia, Ukraine, you name it. You have no right to be in a sporting event. Look what happened with these poor ladies' soccer team that were playing in Australia, and it became a nightmare for them. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I threw it in there, and like I say, shame on me for doing it, but it's in the news, and it's just bizarro world that we're living in right now. There ain't no way about that. I said to you, Kevin, are we ever coming back? You're like, I
don't know how we come back. I don't see it.
No. So this morning, I'm pounding away on the treadmill at the gym, and they got the TV. I always say to my sponsor, Bob, I said, the only time I watch the news is when I'm at the gym because they got CNN on, Fox News, ESPN, everything's all there. And it on one screen, they're talking about scary stuff with Iran and bomb. Next screen, college chaos. Trump holds roundtable over the state of college sports. I'm like, how does he have the time? And number one, and also, that's not chaos. I mean, it's chaos, but it's not chaos. Like, I realize why people say sports really isn't that important. You know what I mean? It's just any words for people, Kev, that are struggling right now navigating the world?
Yes. Actually, when I was doing my show on Monday that we do a little show on Facebook where we do mini readings. So if you ever want to tune in. It's Cavelli Channeling on Facebook. We do mini readings. It kind of gives you an idea of what we do. But I was telling people, you know what? Even if you're having the shittiest day, just walk down the street and smile at the person you're walking by and say hi. You'll be amazed how that not only changes that guy's day, more so your day. It just forces you to have a better day. So smile and say hi to your neighbor.
Thanks for saying that. Because yesterday you were watching when I said, hey, what are you happy about? ESPN's asking people, what are you mad about? No. What are you happy about? It can put you in a good mood real fast, which is kind of funny. From the audience, I said, what's the network or league you enjoy watching? Joe Lazito is watching in New York. He says, well, I don't tune in to see specific broadcaster or analysts. I definitely tune out after seeing specific ones. No, I agree. I'm the same. Jeremy, the Red Wings fan, says Chris Collinsworth. Now there's a guy. Yeah, he's good. He's good. Everybody likes him. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says that's great advice, Kevin. So there you go. That's thank you for that. You've made a lot of contributions today. That might be number one on the list.
There you go. Make my heart happy. Jeff and I agreed on something again.
Again? That's like the first time. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in. He says, used to be the ESPN NFL panel for me, but Rich Eisen and the NFL Network panel have really shifted how they approach their coverage and entertainment, making it almost can't miss Sunday morning TV. So, hey, yeah, I'll continue this after Kevin rolls. What's the time situation, Corey? I feel like 2 now. Thank you. Right on cue. 2 minutes to go here, Kevin. People love, and our viewers love talking about the sports media. I get it. It's in our face and in our living rooms and our homes every day. But exactly. We'll be doing a hell of a lot more football, whatever that is, whatever there is to talk about in the football world tomorrow. It is kind of NFL aside, it's a quiet time, Kev.
Oh, come on. How could it be quiet? It's the CFL Combine in 15 days, 2 weeks before the CFL Combine. There's got to be stuff we can talk about in the CFL.
Oh, well, we'll find it. We'll find it tomorrow on a Football Friday. Yeah,
I will go
this week. Yeah,
I will go down the rabbit hole.
Can you do that? Come up with some topics if you don't mind. That would help out the program immensely. Yeah. Well, okay, Kev. What's your favorite song to play on that guitar over your shoulder there?
It's There for Looks. Just make
Yeah, just like it's there for looks. It's there for look. Corey goes, that's a song? That's funny. Okay, 902-518-3033 is the text line. It's brought to you by our friends at Western Dodge. Are you looking to trade up? Western Dodge makes it easy with top dollar trade-ins and unbeatable deals. It's been fun with Kevin the Medium. Give him a follow. Hughes Sports Podcast, Cavelli Channeling. Where can they find you, Kev?
On Facebook mainly. That's where I do most of my stuff. So again, if you want to check out, Rod talks about it all the time. Check it out. Cavelli Channeling on a Monday night. It's cool.
All right, Kev. Appreciate you. You have a great 3:06 day. Everybody will be coming right back with a sports update after this and viewer takeover to the top of the hour here on Game Plus TV.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Oh, it's getting good. It's getting good now. But just hang on. That includes the junior hockey report for the Mad Greek Eatery. They're back in a tie for the final playoff spot in the WHL's Eastern Conference. The Moose Jaw Warriors came from behind to beat the Broncos in Swift Current 4-3 in a shootout Wednesday. The Warriors play the first-place Raiders in Prince Albert on Friday night. The Regina Pats inching closer to a playoff position. They beat the Lethbridge Hurricanes 4-2. The Pats are at the Warriors on Sunday. You're going to go, and you're going to go to the Mad Greek, right? Are you craving the famous Greek ribs everybody in southern Saskatchewan's talking about? Get yours today at the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Main Street, Moose Jaw. Okay. When I say it's getting fun, it was fun with Kev. We're bringing in audience participation here. Ted and Yonkers, hello. Yeah, it's just me doing the Larry King to the top of the hour. So we got a few topics on the air. Forget about the dumb poll question that I came up with earlier with, are you afraid for the future of Canadian NHL teams? 77% of you saying no, and they're not building a new rink in Calgary and soon to be Ottawa for nothing. They're fine. One poll question was, could you ever give up on your team? That spawned a lot of discussion here today. And then the other question I had was, is there any league or sport that you tune in for the announcer? I mean, listen, we have a lot of competition in the world in our business today, sports media. And I watched the Flyers Caps game last night. Primarily, I'm like, oh, Gretzky's on. He was awesome. BW from Edmonton writes in and he says, the only thing worth watching in the NBA panel was Shaq and Sir Charles. Who cares who's playing? Don Cherry, first period. Second period, Sat Alive Hot Stove. 10 years ago. Yeah, that was fantastic. We talk about giving. Oh, and Joe Lazzato. Here's one for you. Joe Lazzato from New York was sitting on my couch, and we were watching TV. I'll never forget those conversations, Joe. Just so number one, he said he doesn't watch basketball at all. I had an NBA game on. He goes, this is the most basketball I've watched in 10 years. And then a commercial came on for the TGL League of Golf. I don't even know what it is. Tigers Golf League, is that what it is? It's just up the road here, Jupiter, West Palm Beach. I don't know, this indoor golf. And Joe goes, I don't even watch real golf, let alone this. I'm like, I knew that's why we would get along, Joe. So with regards to Kevin's advice to say hello to somebody, smile at somebody, see how that goes. I've been doing it for a long time, and it really does work. Joe Lazzato writes in and he says, love the idea of smiling and saying hello, Kevin, but folks, maybe pass on that in New York City. I will keep that in mind as I'm headed up to the Big Apple in a couple weeks' time, Joe, to see you, as you know. Wayne in Victoria, BC writes in on the text line. It's his birthday, by the way. Did we mention that? He says, hey, Rod, I love the positivity on today's show. We do it every day, Wayne. You know that, but thanks for pointing it out. Okay, so back to this. We are a sports show after all. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. Let's go way back to point 2 because I'm having fun. I think we all are with NFL free agency, right? It's in my commentary today. You can go read it at rodpedersen.com, which, by the way, next week we are celebrating 20 years at rodpedersen.com. How about that? You'll be hearing a lot more about it over the next week. A week from today, as a matter of fact. 20 years at rodpedersen.com. The commentary is there, and I said, I'm glad somebody said it. All these pundits are saying they're finding the NFL free agency confusing. And yes and no. I'll tell you what, all those years that I called football games and the CFL was changing the rules every year, that was confusing. And I'm calling the game, and I didn't know the rules. The coaches didn't know the rules. And the reason I'm saying bring that all up is we'd be on the air doing games, and we wouldn't know what the rule was called. And then I'd get all this hate mail from you should know, you're the broadcaster. I'm not a ref. But I'm sitting there with these pundits. Mike Florio's a lawyer, for God's sakes. I talk about him every day here from NBC Sports Radio. He was like, this is really confusing and hectic. And Dan Orlovsky said the same thing, ESPN's top football analyst. And I'm like, guys, if you don't know, how the hell are we supposed to know? I.e., I get an email come in yesterday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern from the NFL saying, ding, free agency's now open. I'm like, great. What the hell's been going on the last 3 days? For instance, Baltimore Ravens landed their star pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson. Max Crosby is back in Las Vegas for now, and Daniel Jones is staying in Indianapolis as part of a busy start to the new league year. Wednesday's biggest move came when the Ravens agreed to a 4-year, $112 million contract with Hendrickson, former FAU Owl, a 4-time Pro Bowl defensive end. On Tuesday night, Baltimore backed out of the deal with the Raiders for Crosby over a failed physical. As you see, maybe you don't because you're here, but every other show is talking about the Max Crosby situation. And why not? That's apparently, to this degree, it's never happened before. That a trade's gone down, and 4 days later, one of the teams been allowed to back out of it. No rules were broken. And I'm sitting here going, again, I can't. If I don't know something, I feel like an idiot. I'd like to go look up what's going on. But if the pundits on the national networks don't know, where am I supposed to find the information? It's kind of what I'm getting at here. You know what I'm saying? Because I looked up the stats yesterday. Max Crosby had the third best statistical season he's ever had last year with the Las Vegas Raiders. What'd I say? 10.5 sacks, 11 sacks, 28 assisted sacks. I mean, that's not the only thing that he did, but he is an edge rusher. That's kind of what they do. And so he was playing on an injured knee all year. Then he got the surgery, and it hasn't healed properly and to pass a physical. You would think he would have known that he wasn't going to pass a physical. But again, what do I know? I'm not a doctor. That's the biggest thing that everybody's talking about. And the other is Kyler Murray going to the Minnesota Vikings. That's like the big thing that we're all waiting for that shoe to drop. Apparently, he was visiting with the Minnesota Vikings today. I will say one thing of the notes that I have written down here. Actually, it was yesterday's show that I mentioned what they were saying on the radio here. I mean, because I talked about it here yesterday. The pressure on the Dolphins signing Malik Willis as quarterback. All the media is like, this better work. It's highly entertaining. Jeremy writes in from Winnipeg. He says, they might make a rule that you can't make moves until the new league year to avoid this. Ravens totally got cold feet. Well, and by the way, if you've noticed a rise in my smile and vibration on this show for the last couple of weeks, it's because I've spent a lot of time off social media outside the show because there's so much crap flying around. Most of it's wrong. Everybody's bitching. Like Bam Adebayo had 83 points for the Heat the other night. And for some reason, it's like, is criticism over Bam Adebayo warranted? Well, of course not. Everybody's throwing crap. Everybody's criticizing. It's just so off-putting. Anyways, point being, the rare few times that I've opened up Twitter and looked, apparently the Ravens were trying to acquire both Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. Can you imagine those two bookends? But they couldn't afford it. So when you say, Jeremy, that they backed out, that's another conspiracy theory that it was a cooked-up story that he failed the physical. They just got buyer's remorse. That makes a lot more sense than anything else that I've heard on this whole crazy situation since Tuesday night. David writes in. David, number 2 from Winnipeg. He says, I know we are a hockey country, but after hockey, are we more of a baseball, basketball, or soccer country? And then he goes, I almost forgot about football. He wrote a novel. He says, Dallas has lower standards. What are we talking about, the Cowboys? Since we are Canada's favorite daytime sports talk show, I'll allow the question. There goes my timer. I think we've established that Canada is a hockey country first. I believe football is number 2. There's now analytics to back this up. Baseball's number 3, and everything else follows in line behind that. There's a lot of guys back in the day that got a long ways BSing. I'm not going to name names. Guys that do what I'm doing. And they made a career of it, and they're lucky they got out of it, or they died, before things were Googleable. So when I talk about, one's John Frenzy. Okay, my dear mentor, John Lynch, right? When Google came out, he was screwed. And he knew it. But there's analytics on impressions. Obviously, ratings are far more accurate now than they've ever been. We know what the most popular sports are. And that's the thing with RodPedersen.com celebrating 20 years next week. When I was telling my friends about it, when I first moved here, I said it had 40 million hits before I even came to the States. My friend Chris from the Bronx, he's like, what? The way he talks, he's like, that's Taylor Swift numbers. Yes, it is, baby. That sucker's never going away. That you know what the equity in the online world is? To have 40 million plus all-time hits? That's what we got at RodPedersen.com, 20 years in business. Next week, how are we going to celebrate it? Haven't really thought about it because we go one day at a time here. And I didn't even get to my sports update. But if we had, it would be brought to you by Ultimate Fan Zone. Dress like a fan, not a spectator. Ultimate Fan Zone has everything you need. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Start shopping now at ultimatefanzone.ca. Scott Laughlin joins us next hour from NHL Radio as things are really heating up in the National Hockey League. We got 14 games to do in our Pick'em, brought to you by our friends at Pump Jacks Cathedral and Pump Jacks Weyburn. 9 games in the NBA. We got a lot of things in the hopper today. It's great for sports talk. I'll tell you that for free. And we'll be back in a moment. 902-518-3033 to get the Western Dodge text line humming for Western Dodge, and we'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show across Canada on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, podcast, WQVZ Radio.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your Apple, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your Apple, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Let's go! Welcome to the RP Show, everybody. Episode number 1695 of, I'll let you in on a little secret, Canada's favorite daytime sports talk show on the Game Plus television network. We have the ratings data that it is. And we welcome the viewers across Nevada on Silver State Sports. You're in for a huge treat. Coming up for Prairie Panels, we'll be joined by Scott Laughlin from NHL Radio coming up in the next segment. We've got a lively, hot discussion on the go today. We're streaming live on YouTube as always. We're also on the radio, WQVZ, across the U.S. South. Talking sports today. Before we go any further, 902-518-3033 is the text line. I love when this happens. I mean, we might as well just start it. Let's get into the Quick Six Show topics because we got a lot to get to today. Number one, and the Quick Six brought to you by Neil Chark of Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the RP Show. Canada, did you hear? Will play the USA in the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic Friday night in Houston. Canada advanced to the WBC's playoff round for the first time in tournament history with a 7-2 win over Cuba on Wednesday. And after losing to Italy, the U.S. got the help it needed from the Italians in their 9-1 thumping of Mexico. So away we go, baby. That assured the Americans would finish second in their pool in advance, and they line up against Canada in a quarterfinal. So I hear that everybody's coming alive in Canada about this baseball game. I know we kind of started this the other day, and I didn't get any responses I wanted or was satisfied with, so we're going to start it again. What is a term for somebody who wasn't paying attention, and by the time they do, they missed it? I feel like Johnny-come-lately would be the most accurate thing. Don't be that, okay? On SportsCenter, Scott Van Pelt's like, oh, this ain't the Olympic gold medal for hockey, but it's pretty good. Canada, USA in a quarterfinal at the World Baseball Classic. This is the biggest game for Baseball Canada ever. That's a fact. USA Baseball, I don't know. I don't care. But the viewers were saying, you know, what chance does Canada have? Not much. But we're in the game. And that's very exciting. And, you know, with the Blue Jays going to Game 7 of the World Series last year, my good friend Gary Chop Bresh, who runs Regina Little League Baseball, told me the numbers are through the roof, highest numbers they've ever had. That happens when baseball's hot, when the Blue Jays are hot. And now we got the national team going up against Aaron Judge and Kyle Raleigh and the USA. Oh, man. We'll spend some more time on it on Friday's show, but let me just tell you that I'm very excited for the game. And I'm not sandbagging. Just look at the rosters. It's an MLB All-Star team for Team USA versus a bunch of Canadians that most people have never really heard of. I mean, we have because we follow the sport. Josh Naylor is a star with the Mariners, yes. But how many of you knew that Rod Black's kid, yesterday's guest, the iconic Canadian broadcaster, his son Tyler's an infielder, a backup infielder with the Milwaukee Brewers? Now you know. But, yeah, it's a big one, and I'm glad that everybody is getting hype. And, by the way, when I say I'm looking for a nickname for the people that just head in the clouds, don't really know, oh, wait, that was going on? I missed it? What? Because, you know, at the movies they say don't be a Susie seat kicker. Don't be a Tommy Texter. What's a name for the person that's not paying attention until it's too late? Corey, Producer Corey, you have not come up with a suggestion yet. I know you're thinking about it. He just goes, what's the question? I'm glad you're paying attention. What's a name for the person that wasn't paying attention until it was too late? Maybe we'll call him Producer Corey. That's what we'll call him. I think Johnny-come-lately is the, for now, for lack of a better term, don't be a Johnny-come-lately. Be tuned in I think the ratings will be huge. And where I really got into this was Monday night. This is reminding me I need to speed up. Scott Laughlin coming up from NHL Radio, brought to you by Prairie Panels. But I'm just flipping to the channels, and it's got, USA versus Mexico. Fox. This is like the Fall Classic. Everybody's waiting on bated breath. Everybody's on the edge of their seats if they weren't standing up in the ballpark in Houston. Minute Maid Park, right? This is awesome. It's going to be even better Friday night, Canada versus USA. You're welcome. Point 2 of the Quick Six. NFL free agency. The Baltimore Ravens landed their star pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson. Max Crosby is back in Las Vegas for now. And Daniel Jones is staying in Indianapolis as part of a busy start to the new league year. Aside from all the Crosby stuff, and oh my God, back in the day we would have said there's been thousands of gallons of ink spilled on this. That's a newspaper term. I'm kind of through talking about the Max Crosby situation. There's a life lesson in all of that. Again, it's in my commentary today that you can read at Rod Pedersen, celebrating 20 years next week, rodpedersen.com. You knew in this go world of sports, somebody was going to trip, skin their knee, have egg on their face, and that's exactly what's happened with the Raiders and Crosby and the Ravens and all the management that now have to go back and make statements and apologies. Oh, what a mess. The league business year wasn't even supposed to start till Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and now Ravens already agreed to a deal with Trey Hendrickson. Now, the most interesting thing is this quarterback carousel, and that's what will start up next week if it hasn't already as to who's going where. Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray to the Vikings today. That he's visiting hasn't necessarily signed as we sit here right now. But one thing has changed a little bit. We talked last week about the odds for the Super Bowl. I think that was last week. It was at Monday of this week. They haven't changed a lot. The LA Rams are still the betting favorites, and this is at ESPN Bet, not FanDuel. So it's a different betting company. Rams 1, Seattle 2, Buffalo 3, Baltimore Ravens 4, Philadelphia Eagles 5. I looked up the Dallas Cowboys. You're welcome. 18th. And at the very bottom of the barrel, Miami and Arizona are tied for the longest odds to win the Super Bowl in 2026. The New York Jets have stepped out of that muck hole. They're just third worst. They're just not tied for last, the Jets. So I guess it's because they got Geno Smith. And then fourth worst is the Las Vegas Raiders, and fifth worst is Cleveland. Sorry, Tony, which is actually a good point. I was in my own head. We were talking last hour about could you ever give up your fandom for your favorite team? Tony from Cochrane has gained infamy because he did it. Not only did he switch teams from the Cleveland Browns, who he's cheered for since he was a kid, he's now a Houston Texans fan, and all the viewers are saying, I don't think I could pull a Tony, which I think is amazing that he did that. The Cleveland Browns are ranked the fifth worst team and longest Super Bowl odds in the NFL, and the Browns and Shitter Sanders are being tabbed the biggest losers in NFL free agency, which as we sit here today hasn't even been open officially for 24 hours. You're right, Jason in Red Deer says Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins are still available. Oh, we're going to hear their names a lot over the next few weeks. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, don't be an ignorant Ian. That's not bad. Don't be an ignorant Ian. I feel like we should have a poll on this. From the account Mathematician, watching on YouTube, says, don't be a simple Sam. Don't even be paying attention to the fact that the World Baseball Classic's on and then miss the biggest game in Canadian baseball, not Canadian baseball history, the biggest game in baseball Canada history. There's a difference. And if you don't know, you'll never know. There's a difference. Jeff says, don't be an oblivious Oscar. Now you're just being silly. Before I move on, because I know a lot of you are going, please move on. Joe Lazito writes in, says, my term for a person who doesn't pay attention until it's too late is a politician. But I digress. I'll handle the jokes, Joe. Y'all came here for hockey, and it's a fun time of year, which, by the way, would be another great poll question. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. What's the best time of year? Spring, which I believe we're officially in spring. It's hard to tell when you live in Florida. Or the fall, which 99.9% of society says it's the fall. I am the 0.01% that says it's the spring right now. And why? It's because of hockey playoffs and not just the Stanley Cup. My friends, they got kids playing in minor hockey. They're going to provincials, the league finals. It's a very exciting time. It's what I grew up with. Those are my dogs. Now is the most exciting time of the year in sports for me. But I think it would get trounced in a poll. And we'll get to hockey right away, but I want to tell you that Scott Laughlin is our guest coming up next from NHL Radio, SiriusXM, NHL Radio. It's brought to you by Prairie Panels. Prairie Panels is a Saskatchewan-based company specializing in high-quality construction panels and engineered building solutions. Whether it's for ag, shop construction, commercial projects, Prairie Panels brings innovative, durable products backed by local expertise. Check them out at prairiepanels.ca. To the NHL. Point 3. of the Quick Six Show topics. Let's just look back at the 2-game slate Wednesday in the NHL because it's really easy to do. The Montreal Canadiens won their second road game in as many nights with a 3-2 victory over the Ottawa Senators. Ivan Demidov scored the third period game winner for Montreal, who were coming off a 3-1 win over the Leafs. I think we all were... Well, I know here in Florida, the Panthers came out of the Olympic break excited because they beat the Leafs. And now we're seeing everybody beats the Leafs. They literally have become the free spot on the bingo card. How embarrassing. And listen, if Scott Laughlin's tuned in, we won't be talking about the Leafs. I'm sick of the Leafs. I'll get to the viewer comments in a second. They're really going now. In the only other game of the night, Owen Tippett had a goal and an assist to pace the Philadelphia Flyers to a 4-1 victory over the visiting Washington Capitals. Ovi assisted on Washington's lone goal. Wasn't a bad game. Wasn't a great game. I was forlorn to see that the Flyers are ranked. As I went to ESPN Bet for the Super Bowl winning futures odds, I'm like, I got to dabble over to the hockey and see what they're saying for the Stanley Cup. And the Philadelphia Flyers are ranked fourth longest odds in the NHL to win the Stanley Cup. Because I don't think anybody's been officially eliminated yet. And they won last night as I went 2 for 2 in my picks. But the reason I tuned it in was because of Wayne Gretzky. And yes, it's 1:11 Eastern for those that observe. Thank you, Carlos in Indiana, for notifying us. 1:11 Eastern for the live viewing audience, 11:11 Mountain. Positivity wins. As I was saying, why did I tune it in? Because I'm flipping through the channels. We're in a very competitive industry, okay? What's grabbing my attention here? And it's not just sports for me. If a Dateline's on, if Forensic Files is rolling, I'm going to click on that a lot of times. But I'm like, oh, NHL on TNT. Let's see who's on the panel. Number 99, I'm in. So I was asking the viewers, what's the one league, the one channel, sport, you name it, that because of the analyst you tune in? Now it's become questionable compared to what it used to be. I'm like, listen, I don't really enjoy the Sunday morning, and I appreciate you, Nelson. You brought this up last hour. I'm bringing it up here for whatever reason, and I don't know why, but the Sunday NFL countdown in the mornings on ESPN doesn't hold my attention anymore. And that used to be like breaking my ankle to tune it on. But thank God, over on NFL Network, they got Mooch. They got Eisen. They don't have the playmaker anymore, but that's okay. These guys, they make me tune in. But for whatever reason, ESPN lost me on that Sunday morning. And I don't know how or why. It just happened. Our picks are coming up. They're brought to you by Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. They bring you our picks daily, whether it be National Hockey League, football. But as I say, don't take my picks to the bank, and definitely don't take my college basketball picks to the bank. Although I will say this, TK Wins was a very popular guest on the show the other day. And actually, he might be watching right now. Tony King, 30-plus years, top-ranked sports bettor. TK Wins hosts his podcast, Bet the Edge, with a couple of other guys, just ahead of our Cats and Bolts podcast we do here for Florida NHL hockey. And I walked in the studio in downtown Boca Raton yesterday. All TK's buddies were all mad that I didn't bring them on the show. But you all love TK. And he says Duke is the team to beat in March Madness. Go back. It was Tuesday when TK was with us. TK Wins. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. 56% pays, TK says. Point 4, the Quick Six Show topics. We'll pick up the rest later. Iran's sports and youth minister says the country is in no position to take part in the World Cup after the United States killed its supreme leader in its ongoing war. Iran was expected to take part in the World Cup that will be held across North America in June, but the Iranian sports and youth minister Ahmad Donyamali told state television that his country's soccer team players are not safe in the U.S., according to a video posted Tuesday. I'm surprised this is even a discussion, as we talked about earlier. We got a minute, producer Corey says, so let's jump into point 5. The Edmonton Oilers are in Dallas to take on the Streaking Stars among the 14 NHL games on the menu today. Dallas hasn't lost in regulation in its last 13. Oilers play back-to-back roadies with another tomorrow in St. Louis. Status of Edmonton goalie Connor Ingram is unclear after being steamrolled by Colorado's Nathan McKinnon the other night. We'll be coming right back with our friend Scott Laughlin from NHL Radio. By the way, we're brought to you in part by Vegas.com here. Explore this week's most popular picks or jump straight to 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star options to match your style and budget. Whether you're planning a weekend escape or luxury stay, your ideal Vegas hotel is just a click away. Vegas.com. We'll be right back. We're broadcasting across Nevada on Silver State Sports and Canada on Game Plus TV.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your rebel, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And I got bad news and I got bad news. What would you like first? The bad news is that Scott Laughlin has been in an accident. He just informed me, and he can't join us today. Yeah, that's why he can't join us. No. I guess I didn't tell producer Corey that. Well, he's not able to come on the air. Let's put it this way. He sends his sincerest apologies, but Scott Laughlin from SiriusXM NHL Radio has been in an accident. He's fine, but not able to go on television. As a matter of fact, he said, if it was radio, I could do it, but it's television and I can't, so can we reschedule? So that's what's happening with Scott Laughlin. So it's going to be just you and me. That's the bad news. You got just me for the rest of the hour, everybody. I apologize for that. But what that means is we got to put our thinking caps on. Teamwork makes the dream work. 902-518-3033. And trust me, I can handle it, but I'd rather chat with you and answer your questions. By the way, your teams, the biggest stories, join Mike Davis and Mariah Janos live at 2 p.m. daily here on Silver State Sports as they tackle the biggest stories in Vegas sports. And while we load this up, the questions from the viewers here, a couple of things. I said, what's the channel, the league, the team that you tune in for the broadcasters and the announcers? Producer Corey says TNT has the best panels. They really do. They know what they're doing. Jason in Red Deer says Luke Gazdick is actually really good on Sportsnet. And, of course, Kevin BX's witty humor. What's funny about that was I was doing a sports banquet with Anaheim Ducks icon Ryan Getzlaff, and I asked him, what about your longtime teammate Kevin Bieksa on Sportsnet? What do you think of him on there? He goes, he'd be even better if they took the harness off him. I'm like, he's harnessed? He's pretty outspoken as it is. I can't imagine if they took the harness off him, what would he say? Jeremy, the Red Wings fan, writes in, he says, good morning football was the best with Kay Adams, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, and Nate Burleson. Well, as I noticed, they don't have them anymore. That's the one thing I don't understand, why they keep going and changing all these things, but they don't ask me. Kay Adams doing very well, though, with her own show, broadcast across America. We get it here in South Florida on the FanDuel Sports Network. Up and Adams, she's doing fine. Hey, I think we have a winner here from Marcel. Is it Claire Marcel or Marcel Claire? That's the viewer. Don't be a Marty missed it. No more phone calls, folks. We have a winner. I said earlier, we need a name for the person that missed it. They were not paying attention, like the World Baseball Classic, which I'll get to here in a second. You didn't even know what was going on, right? And by the time you found out it was on, oh, I missed it. Don't be a Marty missed it. What do you think, Corey? Do we have a winner? What do we have for the winner? Nothing. We're good. We had the ignorant Ian. Don't be an ignorant Ian. Don't be a producer. Corey's submission was a swear word. I couldn't use that. The other topic that we brought up today was, could you ever abandon your sports team? And I don't know. I could sit here every single day for 2 hours and talk about that, but I have stories that go along with it. That's what makes it so interesting. That's why it's called the RP Show, as you see the logo everywhere. It popped into my head again today because our Hour One co-host, Kevin the Medium, Kevin Hughes, Kevin's not really into the NFL. He's Canadian. He's huge into the National Hockey League. He's gotten into the baseball. He's not going to be a Marty missed it, because you don't want to be a Marty missed it. But I'm like, well, if you're a Canucks fan, but you only want to talk about the Canucks, that kind of sucks. I said, have you ever considered renouncing your fandom to the Vancouver Canucks? So I'm going to tell you a little story here about that. The first team I ever loved was the Montreal Canadiens, but my dad forbade me for cheering for them. Story for another time. As I got a little older, like within the next 6 months, I became a Regina Pats fan. We're talking late 70s here. And that became my team and still is my number one team. I will say they're the first team I'll ever love, last I'll ever love, most I'll ever love, the Regina Pats. And I broadcast, 1,328 games as the voice of the Regina Pats. That was my career goal, to be the voice of the Regina Pats, and I achieved that. September 5th, 1995. But now, I couldn't name 3 players on the team, I don't think. And we used to have a very vibrant alumni. This is the world's oldest junior hockey team. They're a big deal in Canada. Maybe not that big a deal in Vegas, but I don't care. It's the Regina Pats, God's team. But, we had a very thriving and vibrant alumni association, and before games, we had a lounge. We had Pats alumni on the wall, and over time, there was a new owner came in, painted over the wall, from what I understand, disbanded the alumni, and just don't feel that connected anymore. And just this morning, I'm in at LA Fitness here in Boca Raton, Florida, and there was a guy... You all know me by now. You could see this happening. We're toweling off. The guy pulls his bag, his gym bag out of the locker, sets it down. It says Dolphins alumni on it. I'm like, that's cool. But I didn't know who he was. I'm just saying some teams honor the alumni far more than others. Some teams honor the fans far more than others. Sort of like, what's your team doing to keep you a fan? That's a whole other story. So I was leaving the front, walking by the front desk on the way, and I'm like, Greg, who's that guy with an alumni badge? He's like, I have no idea. We need to look into that. Rich in Edmonton writes in and says, why would the owner disband the alumni? You'd have to ask him. Oh, yeah. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in. He says, coincidentally, the Regina Pats were the Montreal Canadiens farm club. Oh, yes, back in the day. And I've got the jersey that has Pats on the front, Montreal Canadiens on the sleeve. And Rich goes on to say, the Habs have a terrific alumni area at Le Centre Bell. I'm also aware of that. So I'm just saying, they were my team, the Pats. And still will be my team. I just don't feel that connected to them anymore. And that's life. Anyways, 902-518-3033. How about this? Bill writes in. He is watching in Brantford, Ontario, the home of Wayne Gretzky. I feel like there's a big Gretzky theme today. Bill in Brantford says, I always tuned into Detroit Tigers radio, WJR 760, when Ernie Harwell was the announcer. Loved his call to the games. Signed, Bill from Brantford. That's the whole thing. For those that just tuned in, how we got on this topic was I tuned in to the NHL on TNT last night just to see Wayne Gretzky. I didn't care about the Flyers or the Capitals. The game was actually pretty boring. Wayne wasn't. He came on the panel like we all were. I feel like if Wayne Gretzky wanted to be the next Don Cherry, he could. But it's like he lives 40 miles up the road from me. I won't say the town, but he's loving life. He's been subjected to enough crap as it is. He doesn't need more. I'm just saying he could be he already is the best analyst. He could be the next Don Cherry if he really wanted to. We have a winner for the don't be the person that's not paying attention until it's too late. It's don't be a Marty missed it. But Laverne in the Frontier City writes in and he says, someone who's clueless? How about a space cadet? Nah, it kind of had to be in the vein of don't be a Susie seat kicker or don't be a Tommy Texter, Well, we got it. Okay. The viewer comments are morphing into the sports update. That's fantastic. Wayne in BC writes in, he says, I'm not a big baseball fan, but I'm looking forward to seeing how well the Canadians do. David number 2 writes in from Winnipeg. He says, the World Baseball Classic, Canada versus Cuba, was a humdinger. Wow, that was a crazy game in the end. Canada took the wood to them. Well, let me get into the sports update here. Team USA snuck into the quarterfinals as the World Baseball Classic's group stage came to an end Wednesday, leaving 8 teams still fighting for the crown. The Italians knocked Mexico out of the tournament with a 9-1 victory. That ensured the USA's survival behind a stellar start from Phillies righty Aaron Nola and the first 3-homer in WBC history, courtesy of Royals first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. And Canada beat Cuba 7-2. For the first time ever, Canada has reached the WBC knockouts, going 3-1 to win Pool A. And for the first time ever, Cuba did not reach the playoffs. So it all sets up a Friday quarterfinal in Houston. I know there's a lot of people that missed the start of the show, and they're saying, why are you kicking around these goofy names? What I'm saying is people weren't paying attention to this World Baseball Classic because it's not as, it's been around for 20 years. For whatever reason, it's not that vaunted around the world, but Canada versus USA in anything is big, and they're going to meet Friday night at Minute Maid Park in Houston, and we're all going to be tuned in, right? Because we're not going to be Marty Mistits. And by the way, I admire those that are admitting they haven't been that much into it, but they are now. Jeff, the Stamps fan, wrote in and said, what chance does Canada have? Not much. Not much. This ain't hockey. As Chris Rock said in the movie The Longest Yard, this ain't hockey. But Scott Van Pelt said on the Sports Center, ESPN Sports Center, he goes, this isn't the gold medal for Olympic men's hockey, but it's pretty good. Canada versus USA. Our Hour 1 co-host, Kevin the Medium, was going, this will be revenge for the gold medal. No, it won't. No. But still pretty good. By the way, as I mosey along here on the sports update, Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers storm past the Timberwolves. 153-128 Wednesday night to improve to 33-32 on the season. The Clippers are the only team in NBA history to move above 500 after falling at least 15 games below 500 in the same season. The sports update is for the Ultimate Fan Zone. From jerseys to trading cards, Ultimate Fan Zone is your fan cave headquarters. Visit them in-store or click on over to ultimatefanzone.ca. What else do we have here? As I said, oh, my God. Well, I asked for the viewer comments, so I got to answer them, I guess, eh? Jason in Red Deer writes in, he goes, Rod, curious why you never tell older stories of back when you played hockey, but you must have one or two good ones. Well, number one, it was just Bush League hockey. So it wasn't like I was playing in the National Hockey League or anything like that. So, and I never wanted to be a hockey player. Ask my dad. I got some great stories. I'll tell you one, why I wear glasses now. I'll tell you one. Sure, I got a million of those stories, but this is like right out of the movie Major League. As I'm saying, and by the way, why am I doing this? Because our guest Scott Laughlin had to send his regards. He was in an accident just prior to showtime today. Sends his regards. Is unable to join us on the program today, so I'm answering viewer questions. I just remember, because I was a goaltender, a guy flipped the puck in from center ice. It was like a rainbow shot, and it came in behind me and hit the post. I lost sight of it. Like literally, you see ball players do it. It happened. That's how high the guy flipped the puck, and it came in, done, and it hit the post. And I remember after the game, it was after the game, and it was in the dressing room, and we won the game. And Warren Terry, his nickname was Dog Nuts. That was his nickname, Dog Nuts. He came right up to me in my stall, and he goes, if that puck had gone in, you'd have been one dead goalie. I said, well, it didn't go in, so get out of my face. And then afterwards, we were in the restaurant eating, and another guy on our team, Wade Clark, his nickname was Luggage. His nickname was Luggage because he walked like this, and he always looked like he was carrying luggage under his arms. He goes, Roddy, what time is it? And I looked up at the clock, and I couldn't tell what time it was. They're like, that's the problem. You need glasses. So that happened. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in about the World Baseball Classic. He says, here's the thing about Friday's Canada-USA game. Cuba's world ranking was 10, Canada's 20th. That is a March Madness level upset. USA is ranked 3rd, but Canada has the dog in them right now. Oh, they smell it. They smell it. This is, I guess we must have been talking about it last hour. We weren't talking about it here. I'm not going to sit here and predict an upset. I will be cheering for Canada, obviously. You know, as we had Kelly McCrimmon on the show here a couple of weeks ago, he made it very clear, the general manager of the Golden Knights, he cheers for Canada in international competition. It's okay to cheer for your home and native land. I'll be cheering for Canada, but I'm not expecting a victory. If they do, it'll be miracle on ice proportions. Oh my God, the ratings are going to be boffo. Viewer Jason says, I pay enough attention to the WBC and the Blue Jays. I don't watch games, but I keep up to date on scores and what's happening. So I'm not a Marty missed it. I'm more of a gist of it, Jason. Oh, no, that's me. Gist of it, Jason. I follow just a little bit of everything. That's why I have it, when TK Wins was on the other day, which I can't actually believe how much the viewers liked him. There's just something about TK that people like. And I knew enough to know that Duke was number one going into March Madness, and he's like, nobody's going to beat them. Write it down, by the way. TK says nobody's going to beat Duke in March Madness men's basketball. I'm staying up on everything. But as I learned the other day from the guys that I pay attention to, like Mike Florio on NBC Sports Radio, you can only talk about one thing at a time. You only can. So go to a cocktail party, you want to be able to talk about a lot of things, but I can't talk about everything in-depthly. Laverne in the Frontier City writes in, he says, the WBC is very exciting, totally different than MLB. And how can you not like Ernie Witt? His calm, cool nature gives him a Cito Gaston vibe. So you see all the Canadian baseball fans coming out of the woodwork, which is awesome, in advance of a huge game Friday night. Ernie Witt, who's been on this show, not since we've been on the air across Nevada, but many feel affectionately that he's the greatest Blue Jays catcher of all time. I would suggest it's Pat Borders. We had this debate last week. People said Ernie Witt's career numbers were better than Pat Borders. Sure. Pat Borders won 2 World Series as a Blue Jay. But Ernie Witt, I thought he was Canadian forever. Turns out he's from Detroit. And he made that clear on this show. He's like, I'm basically Canadian. John writes in from Edmonton, and this might have to carry over to the next segment. But he says, 2 questions for Rod. Number 1, do you think the Edmonton Oilers have a decent shot right now, making it past round 1 of the playoffs? And 2, do you think the Oilers actually will trade Darnell Nurse? Darnell Nurse. That might be what you guys want to call him because you all hate him so much. No, Darnell Nurse. Well, they're not trading him now because the trade deadline was last Friday. So here's the thing. Great timing on that, John, because we'll get to the NHL picks after this break for our friends at Pump Jacks. The Oilers are going into Dallas tonight as part of a 14-game slate. They've already beat Colorado on this trip. They've already beat Vegas on this trip. You tell me. They're the 5th-ranked team in the ESPN bet odds to win the Stanley Cup. So I don't know, last time I checked, to win the Stanley Cup, you got to get past round 1, right? Highest-ranked Canadian team, which unfortunately isn't saying much. But yes, that's your answer. Yes. They're picked to go to the Stanley Cup. Whoa, hey. Who dat? Ta-da! We'll be right back on Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your apple, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers, Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As we mentioned earlier, we're brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Explore this week's most popular picks or jump straight to 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star options to match your style and budget. Whether you're planning a weekend escape or a luxury stay, your ideal Vegas hotel is just a click away at Vegas.com. Okay, welcoming in the cronies. Fort Lauderdale's Matt DeBuck has logged in, watching on the live stream, and he says, I'm just getting in. What did you think about Fowler last night? Go Habs. Oh, boy, here we go. I'll tell you what, I would far rather deal with the Montreal Canadiens fan enthusiasm than the Leafs, whatever you call is coming out of Toronto and the Leaf Nation. That's just gross. So it's great timing, Coach DeBuck. Ole, 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 ole. What did I think about it? Called up from the minors, Melbourne, Florida's Jacob Fowler. I read an article this morning saying Martin Saint-Louis, the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, has a tough decision to make coming up. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. If you got, because I guess Dobish has been playing well, Jakob Dobish, and now you got the young American kid, first ever player born and raised in the state of Florida to start a game in goal in the National Hockey League. What did I think about him? I think he's ready to go. It would have been something if the Habs had acquired Sergei Bobrovsky at the trade deadline. A lot of things, it would have been something if a lot of things had happened. He's the kid. Maybe you tell me, Coach DeBuck, do you agree with the adage? Because we had this discussion earlier in the week on this show. If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. Montreal's got 3 goalies. If you have 3 goalies, do you not have one? You look at it as a good option. Vegas is going through the same thing. What did I think about it? It's not a headache if you got goaltenders that are playing well. It's a headache when you got goalies that aren't playing well. Okay, agree or disagree? Let's get to our picks for Pump Jacks Cathedral, Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. Anaheim at Toronto. Please. Ducks. Calgary at New Jersey. Devils. Jack Hughes can beat him by himself. St. Louis at Carolina. Canes. The Detroit Red Wings at the Tampa Bay Lightning. There's a lot of heat on the Lightning right now, but there's a lot of heat on Detroit right now. That might be the game of the night. I'm thinking Bolts. Washington at Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. That one shouldn't even be close. Columbus at Florida. Cats are on a roll, baby. I'll take Florida to win tonight. Should be Bob's first start post-trade deadline at home. Be a big ovation for him in the bank. San Jose at Boston tonight. That'll be a gooder. Taking the Bruins. Did I mention that I was 100% on picks last night? It was only 2 for 2, but still. New York Rangers at Winnipeg. Jets. Philadelphia Flyers at Minnesota. This will be a big, wild win. Edmonton at Dallas. It's the game of the night. By far. I'll take the Oilers. Get the Edmonton people off my butt. Chicago at Utah. Mammoth. Didn't Chicago just beat them last week, which was an upset? That ain't going to happen again. Pittsburgh at Vegas in the Fortress. What do you think, Jason and Red Deer? A lot of heat on the Knights. They'll beat the Crosby-less Penguins tonight in the Fortress. Colorado at Seattle. A playoff preview. Definitely got to go with the Avs in that one. And the Nashville Predators, the upstart Nashville Predators at Vancouver. Everybody beats the Canucks. So it's the Preds for me, dog. 14 games in the NHL. Don't take those to the bank, but the picks are brought to you by Pump Jacks Cathedral, Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early and stay late at the place where friends meet. So proud to have them on board daily with our picks. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says the Flames may not score another goal on this road trip. Yeah. It's ugly. It's ugly. I want to hear from you all coming back for the final segment of the day. Next, overtime. 902-518-3033 is the text line for Western Dodge or the YouTube chat. BW from Edmonton has thoughts on the WBC. I love how everybody's getting into the baseball. It's awesome. You're not going to be a Marty Missed It. You're all going to be tuned in. We don't want to be a Marty Missed It here. We'll answer your questions for a final time of the day when we come back. Again, 902-518-3033 is the text line for our friends at Western Dodge. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television and Silver State Sports.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, I was just dying to get back on the air here to answer these questions before we let you go. And I thank those who wrote in, answered the bell today when Scott Laughlin from NHL Radio had to reschedule due to being in an accident prior to the show today. Listen, we've been there. Get it? Thanks for helping me out. Regarding the Canada, oh, by the way, Overtime is brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. We can't gloss over that, where they now have personalized shooting training. Don't be left behind. Don't be a Marty missed it with your hockey career. Head on down to see Randy and Michelle at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary and get in the game. How about that? It's an amusement park for hockey players, Overtime Hockey Lanes. On the Canada-USA baseball quarterfinal. Listen, we all know what we're doing Friday. Watching playoff baseball at the WBC. BW writes in, he says, the betting odds will be high between USA versus Canada. Maybe Pat McAfee will lose another $5,000. I don't think Pat McAfee's worried about $5,000. Did you see him pay for the bar tab for the USA men's hockey team at the Club 11 in Miami, the strip club? $150,000. Chicken feed to Pat McAfee. He's not worried about $5,000. Jason in Red Deer, you asked... listen, you asked why I don't talk about my playing days. Because they weren't that long, and I'm not that proud of it. I'll tell you something. My dad, who worked in the NHL for 26 years with the Dallas Stars, said to me on his deathbed, he goes, you could have made it to the National Hockey League. You were good enough. I'm like, what? You never told me that. And he said, why? You weren't serious about it. That is true. That is true. This is all I ever wanted to do, what I'm doing right here. But it's funny. I will tell you this. If you want another story, Kelly McCrimmon, the general manager of the Golden Knights, will attest. I was in camp with the Brandon Wheat Kings when he was the assistant coach there in 1988. Played 2 games at a 1.50 goals against average, which I thought was good enough to at least stay a while. But no, I was given a bus ticket. But there was another goalie there at the same age, or at the same time, same age. His name was Trevor Kidd. You might have heard of him. But I do remember this. Old-time hockey fans watching this show will remember there was a brand new set of 36-inch Cooper goalie pads, white leather, that Trevor Kidd had ordered. They showed up, and he didn't like them. They weren't what he wanted. He wanted the Durasoft. It was the light beige. Go look at the team photos. So they're like, here's these, I don't know how many, $1,000, $1,500 pads. A lot of money now, let alone in 1988. And the Wheat Kings were like, Rod, do you want these? Do you want to take these? Yeah, I'll take them. Wore those things for the next 15, 20 years. But yeah, that was quite a team in Brandon. Terry Yake, Barry Dreger. There you go, Joe Lazito. Yeah, we got in trouble for going to the club in the middle of training camp. I was 16 years age, and the vets asked me to go to the club with them. So I went. You're not supposed to do that? Rich in Edmonton writes in, he says, Trevor Kidd won a Memorial Cup with the Spokane Chiefs, did he not? Look it up. Yeah, I believe that was 1993, which, oh my God, you guys are getting me going with the stories here. I was thinking about Babs the other day, Mike Babcock. Every time I have him on the air, my phone blows up from his former players going, how could you have that jerk on the air? I'm like, he's never been bad to me. Mike Babcock. So I get it. Did you like every coach you ever had? Did you ever have like every boss you ever had? 1993 is when I met Mike Babcock. He was with Spokane. I believe that was where he was at the time when I just got into the dub. As a broadcaster, for the love of God, I was the voice of the PA Raiders at the age of 20. It's all I ever wanted to do. It'll be interesting tonight. I've loved this chat amongst the viewers when I said, how could you ever abandon your team? Just cheer for somebody else. Everybody's talking like it's so sacrilege. Tony from Cochrane's done it. He has famously done it, and now everybody's afraid to take the plunge. So Jeremy, the Red Wings fan, says, I'll see if I can hold up tonight for Detroit at Tampa. Might be sooner than later that he switches teams. Mentally, I won't take it. You can handle it, Jeremy. You can handle it. Life's about choices. All I'm saying is it ain't that hard. Tony just said, I'm done with the Cleveland Browns, which incidentally, can you blame him? Again, if you go to USA Today, pick up a copy today. Listed amongst the losers of NFL free agency is not only the Cleveland Browns, but their quarterback, Shadir Sanders, because the Browns didn't do anything for the kid. As Tony said, eventually you just get kicked in the shins enough, you just give up. Chief Johnny Moe writes in and says, it's Friday tomorrow, brother. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kevin the Medium said he's digging up all kinds of football-related topics to discuss on the program tomorrow, which is great because I can't think of a whole lot outside the NFL stuff, and he ain't following that. Mike Davis will be with us for the Vegas Nighthawks, and we'll see who else drops by. Rich writes in, he says, if I haven't abandoned the Raiders by now, I doubt I ever will. But that's the whole thing where it all started with the Tony thing. I'm like, I don't mind if you want to keep cheering for perennial bottom feeders, but just don't come here and complain about it. You don't see me sitting here railing on the Dallas Cowboys every day. Well, you do, but hopefully it's not a downer for you. As I said, I looked up the betting odds for the Super Bowl today, along with those Stanley Cup betting odds, and both of them are changing daily. The NFL ones are changing with regards to who's getting signed where in the NFL free agency. The Dallas Cowboys ranked 18th. And maybe we'll get into this a little bit tomorrow. Why are the LA Rams the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl when they didn't even get to the big game this year and haven't really done a whole lot in free agency? We'll get into that tomorrow. Brent in Saskatoon says, I always liked Mike Babcock as a person and coach. What's he doing these days? What? We don't have time. Mike's fine. He's farming in Ohio. See you tomorrow on a Football Friday here on Silver State Sports and Game Plus TV.
Dad.